Yeah, this nor'easter is a beast, right? As we're going to start feeling the impacts of it here in the Northeast tomorrow. Places like New Jersey have already issued coastal flood warnings, storm warnings, and high surf advisories right through Monday. Let's get out to NWS Warning Coordination Meteorologist Sarah Johnson live from Mount Holly, New Jersey. Sarah, thank you for being with us this morning. Let's just start with a general overview of maybe what you want to get out to the public first and foremost right now.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, we are very concerned about the potential for tidal and coastal flooding in our area, in our region. This is obviously, as we've just been talking about, an issue all up and down the coast. And so that is really what our biggest concern is with this. We also have some secondary concerns with regards to wind and rainfall that could exacerbate the tidal flooding issues. But people along the coast really need to be aware of this threat for the tidal and coastal flooding.
So we've talked about Sandy a little bit here, and we know this isn't a tropical system, and this is a totally different beast. But in terms of flooding and water levels, we could see some things that maybe rival what we saw with Sandy in 2012. Are you expecting any spots to be any worse than maybe what we saw back then when Sandy came through?
So with regards to the levels of impacts, we are expecting major tidal flooding for the southern New Jersey shore, going down into portions of Delaware beaches, southern Delaware especially. For a lot of our areas, yeah, as you mentioned, Sandy is the flood of record for some areas, especially for the northern Jersey shore, but there are a lot of areas where the flood of record is with a coastal low or with a nor'easter. So it's not uncommon that these types of storms can bring us very high impact levels of tidal and coastal flooding. In fact, the current forecast we have for Lewis, Delaware, the current forecast is in the top 5, if it was to verify, in the top 5 of tide levels.
Yeah, top 5 is, well, top 5, that's all time, right? So make sure that you're taking this very seriously. Today's, I think, a good preparation day for people in the Northeast, right? Because this thing is still south. There's still some time. What do you want to tell people? I mean, it's fall, right? So there's leaves on the ground. You may want to clear out your storm drain, maybe batten down trampolines. Anything else come to mind?
Yeah. As you mentioned, we do have the rainfall associated with this. Fortunately, it looks like it's going to be over a pretty long period. So that in and of itself, we're not expecting the freshwater flooding to be as much of a concern. However, it could exacerbate the tidal and coastal flooding that we're looking at. And then, as you mentioned, could have some very windy conditions, especially along the coast. That is something we're still watching. It's the exact wind speeds are going to be dependent highly on how close this low tracks to the coast by the time it gets up here. But the key thing is, for people that are at the coast or even on the back bays, take time now to figure out where the lowest spots are and make sure that your cars aren't parked in those areas, and that you don't have critical property in those areas, because when the water starts to increase with these high tides, we're going to have successive high tides starting tomorrow. That is going to be getting some pretty significant tidal and coastal flood impacts.
We have about 20 seconds, but real quick, anything that you want to mention about the potential for evacuations getting into tomorrow and Monday?
So with regards to evacuations, those decisions will be made by local and state emergency management agencies. So just encourage people to make sure that they are following the local or state emergency management agency of where they are. Pay attention to the messages that they get from local officials, and please heed all the advice that they get from local officials.
NWS meteorologist and warning coordinator for the Mount Holly office, Sarah Johnson, thank you for your time. It's certainly, well, busy now, and it's going to get busier, so we really value the fact that you carved out a moment or two to chat with us here at Fox Weather.
Thank you.